For 12 years, I was a teacher. I taught junior high, I taught high school students. I dedicated my life to education. That's all I wanted to do was be a teacher. I wanted to change lives. I wanted to influence them to do things for the rest of their life. And in recent years, that has changed. And if you are not in education and you are not in a teaching position or around teachers, you may not understand this. But it's not always the teacher's fault that they don't teach certain things like real life skills. In the last few years of my teaching experience, I was not able to teach those things. I was not able to teach how to communicate with others. I was not able to teach how to work together as one. I was not able to teach how to do a job application or create a resume, how to interview, team build, real life. I had to teach to a test to ensure that the school was going to pass the test. And I am not saying it is the school's fault. I'm not saying it is the superintendent's fault. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is there's something wrong with our education system. I did not get out of teaching because I didn't love teaching. I got out of teaching because I was tired of the education that was being forced to be taught. In real life, you are not always given a test. In real life, you need to learn how to communicate with others, how to work together with others, how to solve problems when they don't go your way, how to overcome things when they're a struggle. That's what should be taught in a classroom. Not whether or not the answer is A, B, or C, or how to highlight something because it's important. Yeah, those skills are important, but there should be things taught along the way. There are certain things in life that we need to teach or should be taught in a classroom. How to handle when things don't go your way. Why are we lowering the bar to have more students pass instead of saying, you didn't do it? Let's figure out how to get it better, but I'm not lowering the standard to make sure that you pass. Because in a real life job, in a real life situation, that is not the case. You do not do your job, you do not have a job. You may get one chance. You may even get two. But in most cases, if you do not successfully do your job, you will lose your job. In a classroom, it needs to be the same way. If you do not do your job, let's work on how to learn how to do your job right. I'm not saying fail every student that doesn't do the job. I'm saying let's be able to teach them how to learn how to do the job. That's what's important. That's what's going to happen in life. Teaching to a state test to ensure that the school is funded does nothing for our society. It does nothing for our future. Teaching a student how to communicate, how to overcome things when they become a struggle, how to problem solve when things in life just go to hell in a handbasket. Every day I taught, I tried to teach a lesson to go along with it that was communicated into a real life situation. There are a lot of teachers that do that. And there are a lot of teachers who are tired of being told no, they can't anymore. So my question is why? We say there's a teacher shortage. There's a reason there's a teacher shortage. Well, they don't get paid enough. Most teachers don't stop teaching because of the pay. They're willing to give up their paychecks to ensure that kids get their education. They're willing to live below poverty in some cases to ensure that those kids get their education. So that's not an excuse. The excuse is not money. The reason is because education has changed. Education as a whole has become more bureaucratic than ever before. We need to work together. We need to look at what education is about and fix it. Because before you know it, it's not going to work even more. And the teachers who care, the teachers who are willing to give up and sacrifice everything they have to make sure that those kids are successful, those teachers will be gone. Because they're not allowed to teach what really needs to be taught. Being held to a standard that if this kid and this kid don't pass, then you're going to lose your job. Or if this isn't taught, then you're going to lose your job. What about allowing teachers to teach what they need to teach to be successful and have successful students? Yeah, there should be certain things taught in school. Yeah, there should be certain standards in school. Let the teachers teach. Let them teach real life alongside it. Because as a teacher, what I wanted more than anything was when they left my classroom, what were they going to take to a real life situation? There is nobody in real life who's going to hold a gun to their head and say, write an essay about this book. There's going to be somebody who says, why aren't you doing what I asked you to do? How are you going to do it? They need to learn how to problem solve. What do I need to do to be successful? They're going to have a boss yelling in their face, and they're going to have to be willing to not yell back if they made a mistake, but have a decent conversation and be able to lay out what is important to save their job. All too often we pass the buck. Teachers are not passing the buck by saying we quit because our pay isn't high enough. Yeah, the pay sucks. And you can go to another job and make a teacher's salary in less than a week. You can make a monthly salary in less than a week at another job. That's not why the teachers are quitting. The teachers are quitting because the education as a whole has crumbled. The teachers who are still in the trenches, thank you. I cannot thank you enough for how much compassion and stuff that you put up with. And if you have a student who has one of those dedicated teachers, tell them thank you. Appreciate what they do every day because you do not know the sacrifices that they make.